Yoga workshop. If we hold some place, it may be a little warm or normal, but we accept everything. Samattam yoguchyate, equanimity in all conditions, no complaint. That is the definition of a yoga. That's a yogi. So today, I'm glad so many people have joined in this virtual class. In fact, I just registered 2-3 people just in the last 5 minutes. They just sent me text or mail me, hey, I just paid, I just registered, and I'm sending them the login information, etc., and the documents you got. So I've been a little busy with that. Anyway, so it's a great, let me admit that as people are still, I know we have still about 10, 12, 15 people missing, 10, 12 missing from the registration. But we are already good 40 plus people. So yoga is a very important part of our life. Yoga technology, yoga science. It's basically tells us how we should live our life. Human is the hero of this universe. Human species is the hero of this universe. The God has created this whole universe for us, the human being. Everybody else serves us. We are free in our doings. This is the freedom, this is the blessing we have. We have a freedom to choose what we want to do. But we definitely face the consequences, good or bad. And yoga is all about living that happy life, getting rid of the dukkhas, the miseries. When we look at at the physical level, at the mental level, at the intellectual level, at the spiritual level, yoga is a way of enhancing all our strength. Sharirik bal, mansik bal, bodhik bal, atmik bal. And our ultimate desire is of every soul, all of you, all of us, any living being, is that we free ourselves of dukkhas, miseries. Means we want zero dukkha in our life, zero miseries, and 100% happiness, 100% bliss, 100% sukh. And the sages has given us this technology, the yoga philosophy, and that's what we're going to be talking about. It gives us how do we make our body a very healthy one, so we can live 100 years and more independently and do good things. How do we control this mind? How do we sharpen our intellect? And how ultimately the soul really enjoys what it is blessed with. No? I would request everybody to stay in the mute, please, now. And Amolji can mute them, everyone. And sometimes if he mutes me, and then he can unmute the speaker. So we have a lot to give you in this 25 hours of workshop. And I'm so fortunate that Dr. Dilip Sarkar has joined me in this workshop. We have been doing it for last 13 years together. And we try to put a good show. So you all take a lot for your own individual upliftment. The journey is all about changing us, And whatever we know, whatever goodness we know, sharing with others. And that is a very pious thing to do. And that's what we hope for, that, that you improve your own well-being, your family well-beings, as well as anybody at large. That's really where the happiness comes. That's where the contentment comes. It's not dollar, you know, dollar doesn't bring you that. The peace, the contentment is not outside, it is within us by changing ourselves. And this technology, that yoga philosophy, the science, is it's all about that. And you will be hammered from this side, that side, all around, many different ways to really see that, realize that. How do we make ourselves physically healthy? How do we have a control on our senses, the mind, the intellect? And, these are beautiful, most precious tools we have, the humanly body, the human mind, the intellect. They're the most precious tools we have blessed to us. We just need to realize their potentials and make a good use of it. You know, in Vedas it says, Aham Indro na parajigye. Main Indra hu. The Indra is the one who is possessed with all kind of wealth, all kind of uh, strengths, wealth. And that is for the self-use as well as to share with others. We as a human being has the utmost potentials to be anyone. We have these tools, and we should separate this who I am and what my tools are. You know, my body. My body is. I am not my body. I am not by my mind. I'm not my intellect. You know, I, the soul, is separate. Like my car, I have a use for a car. Same thing. I have a tool called body. I have a tool called senses. I have a tool called mind, and they all function for me. The experiencer is the soul through these tools. So when we separate these things, soul is never dies, and it's just the body. It deteriorates with time. So that interact, that our understanding of these separation of the soul from these tools is very important. We're going to talk like that in this language all the time. So we get, many times we say, yeah, hey, my body is separate from me, my mind is separate from me. In our real sense, we don't behave like that. So it's but we train ourselves in a way, we start seeing the separation in real life. That's where the miseries of our life ends, and we hit the reality, and we hit the right path. So this yoga science, yoga technology shows us every way this path. How do we find it? What is the benefit of it? And how do we walk this path? We all have to walk our own path. Nobody's going to walk that path. So you have to definitely, we can teach you how to do it, but you must do it, and continue that process. So this is a basic introduction why yoga philosophy is so important for our life. And Sage Patanjali has given this wonderful philosophy. We're going to be talking about it. And the very first, after Atha Yoga Anusasana, means let's talk about yoga science now. That first one, first sutra of that is Yoga Chitta Vritti Nirodha. And Sage Vyas translate that to Yoga Samadhi. Yoga is all about reaching that Samadhi, tranquil state, you know. Samadhi is a state where the realization of God happens, the ultimate bliss, and that it's a manual. How do you reach to that state? Along the way, Yes, you make your body very, very healthy through asanas, postures. You control your mind by practicing pranayam. You control your mind by practicing dhyan, meditation. So ultimately, you can reach to that. There are yam and niyam, what we should do, what we should not do, what observance we should observe towards others, what we observe within us, what transformation we make in that. So we're going to give you a lot. As I go into it, I want to talk about a little bit about Patanjali YogPeeth USA Trust and our mother Patanjali YogPeeth Haridwar, founded by Yog Rishi Swami Ramdev Ji Maharaj. You know, he brought the yoga to the masses. It used to, you know, people didn't used to offer the yoga science to the general people. They say it is only for the intellectuals, very selected. No, he said, no, this is for the masses. Whoever does yoga is the yogi. Whoever does the yoga is the yogini. So, in all that sense, we all are yoga and yoginis. I mean, yes, we are human beings and we are the most advanced. Who blocks us not that we are not capable of it? So he brought this science to the masses by having camps, which are hundreds and hundreds of thousand people even come in a camp. So that this is a science coming out of the Vedas, coming out of the Upanishad. Indian says is where the credit goes for this science. And so Patanjali YogPeeth through Swami Ramdev, Yog Rishi Swami Ramdev, is spreading the word of yoga. Sometimes I would say yoga, sometimes I would say yog, but it's the word is yog, by the way. YOGA, it's a yog. And Ayurveda, you know, so those are the ancient science. And there is a very big undertaking in Haridwar, India. And we here in Houston is the extension of that same trust and promoting this yoga, nature, and Ayurveda. And we will be talking about all those things here a lot. And our mission is to promote good health. Able to log in?
Yes, I am from the iPad.
Good health, Swamiji says, good health is the birthright of all human beings. And definitely, you know, we are the most evolved, and first and foremost priority is a good health. You know, that good health is the best wealth. So at any age, our priority should be good health. We should, you know, we being the most evolved species, that basic requirement to stay healthy should be our minimum goal in our life. You know, if we are not able to keep up that good health, that means there is something we should introspect ourselves. So through I have given this mailed this yoga teacher handbook. Whenever you get a chance, please read through it. It just gives you some. I'm not going to take much time on this call, but you can just glance through it, know about what our aim and objectives are of how we want to preach this to the masses, and what you do to have a safe practice policy and observing the policies and protocols and code of the conduct, how we as a yogi should behave with the other people. It is, like I said, it is all about transforming ourselves. Happiness comes from changing ourselves. You know, we try to find others, we try to change others, we try to know about the others, but we rarely want to know about ourselves. But the reality is, if we know ourselves, that is the most important thing. We can change ourselves. We can't change others. And when we know ourselves, we pretty much know everything else also. So that is a transformation we are all looking for by becoming a yogi. And just Dr. Sarkar would take you through very safe practice of yoga in your daily life. We have given a schedule, the the program, how this whole workshop would be conducted, what topics we will take when, and so it's going to be a full program. What else I want to share before I pass on to Dr. Sarkar? And I want to talk about little one item here, insurance also. There is a Philadelphia insurance company which does insure yoga teachers for the liability purpose, and I do have it for myself. It's a $125 per year per year premium. So if you are teaching yoga to the people at large, it is suggested that you take that safety concern. We will be talking many more how we do. We'll give you disclaimers also, which you ask your students to sign, etc. So, and with that, I request our Dr. Dilip Sarkar to take it and make us go through the safety features of yoga practice.
Okay, thank you, Shekhar. Let me first share a few slides with you. Okay, all of you can see this. Amal,
yes.
everybody?
Yes, Ji.
Okay.
Yes, we can see.
It's good. It's good.
Okay, great. Okay, Ji. Okay, for next half an hour, we'll talk about how to start a yoga practice and also primarily the safety. As you will go through, I'm going to show you, step by step, and we'll show you when you do the practice. The yoga practice, you will see, it's not a competition. Yoga practice is you compete against yourself. You start a practice, especially the asana practice, where you are. You start slowly in stages, slowly in phases, and then you start primarily with one important symptoms which you are going to get, no pain. If you're doing any asana and get into pain, you back off. You stay in the asana with a little bit of, we call it a comfortable discomfort. And also in every asana pose, your breath has to be completely effortless. This is we're going to go, when you go for the yoga anatomy, you will see Annamaya Kosha to Pranamaya Kosha. Annamaya Kosha is our physical body, Pranamaya Kosha is our breath. So any imbalance you create in your physical body, it will show up in your breath. So whole yoga practice, you will be able to breathe completely effortlessly. And what is effortless breathing? You will be able to talk. You will be able to sing when you're doing a practice. So let me go over with you step by step And you will we will go with every step that whole yoga philosophy, asana, pranayama, and Shekhar is going to go with you from tomorrow. But instead of word, we say it's a yog. It's not a yoga. Yoga is a anglicized version. But the true Sanskrit word is yog, which means a union. And from our standpoint, we say it's a union of our body, mind, and spirit. And from your spiritual perspective, we say it's called our Jiva Atma to the Paramatma, means your individual soul to a supreme soul. And remember one thing, whole yoga philosophy was based for your self-realization. But what we find out in the process of the self-realization, we get some health benefit. And those health benefit we can use as an adjunct therapy even in our modern medical system. And we'll go more and more, you will see every practice we do, everything we do on this session will be based on a purely therapeutic perspective. So if you look at our body, mind, and spirit concept from our computer standpoint, body is the hardware, mind is the software, spirit is the programmer. So what yoga does, it fixes your software, like it takes care of your mind. And who programs your software? The spirit, the programmer is you. By the practice of yoga, you develop a place called a medical term called a neuroplasticity. Neuroplasticity is basically, in an ordinary term, it is your habit. And that's the way when you correct your software, hardware gets fixed. And it's exactly what yoga practice is like you're correcting the bugs in your software. Like I have this iPhone, I get these updates, and updates fixes my software. So yoga fixes my software. Very, very, very important. So we'll go over with this. When we talk about yoga, we talk about yoga philosophy. Yoga philosophy is called the Yoga Sutra of Patanjali. There's 196 sutras, which we'll go over with it, a few of them. But you will remember one thing, out of 196 sutras, 193 of them are to quiet down your mind. And Shekhar will go over with you tomorrow, step by step. Practice is called Patanjali Ashtanga Yoga. Ashtanga means 8 limbs. So Yam, Niyam, Asana, Pranayam, Pratyahara, Dharan, Dhyan, Samadhi. 8 steps, 8 limbs. You will remember, memorize. It will be itch in your brain. And we'll go over with all the time. In fact, at the end of this session, somebody asks you, what is your name? You'll say Ashtanga Yoga, or you will say, my name is Pranayama. And you will say, all the time we'll be talking about these terms. So most important practice of yoga is a balance. Health is a balance of body, mind, and spirit. And you will see in the practice when we do a lot of balancing. And if you do one side, if you're doing even a Sukhasana, cross-legged, if you sit down in a cross-legged, you change your. If you do it's called your, say, cow face, go Mukhasana, it has to be equal. When it becomes equal on both sides, when you're able to stand on one foot, very important, balancing poses, it has to be equal. So health is a balance of the body, mind, and spirit. And as Shekhar was saying, what the yoga is, sitting still is yoga. When you do the practice, you start looking inwards. What happens, you have a transformation. First, if you keep on practicing yoga, you get a transition. Transition is temporary, but transformation is permanent. What is transformation? It transforms from your rogi. Rogi means a person with a disease. We call it nirogi. Person have no disease, then it becomes a yogi. Person with a perfect, balanced body, mind, and spirit. Every asana which is described in our philosophy, Yoga Sutra, Sthiram Sukham Asanam. Sthiram, stillness. Wherever you start in asana on your practice, that will be the safety. It has to be stillness. Sukham, we have to be happy sitting in this asana. Chitta Vritti Nirodha. It controls chattering of your mind. Self-realization, spiritual liberation. That's what spiritual wellness is all about. It controls your food, ahar, bihar. It's a relaxation, achar, conduct, and vichar, right thinking. An effect of yoga, as I said, from rogi to nirogi to yogi. And interesting, we are recording the whole session and we'll be sharing with you. So you will get all the slides, all the presentations. So don't worry about it because we are going through a lot of information which you will have in your hand for your future reference. Yoga Sutra tells us that you should be doing yoga with the abhas and vairagya. So these are really the basic safety and basic how to start your practice. Abhas, there is absolutely no English word for this, but literally English is the effort and vairagya, the detachment. Let go. Let go will be the practice in your yoga. A asana practice gives you a physical benefit for the body to get a shape, flexibility, and energetic. In fact, we practice yoga every single day. We are so energetic that we say we are the energizer battery. Wake up 5:30 in the morning. We are doing in the morning rituals. So it's called a dinacharya, daily routine, do our practice throughout the whole day. People ask me, how long you do yoga? You do yoga 24 hours. You may practice 1 hour or hour and a half or 2 hours a day, but it doesn't matter. The whole yoga practice is a safety, and how to do it is your rest 23 hours, what you do. Pranayama, which we'll go over with you a lot more and more. You will go through the theories of pranayama tomorrow with Shekhar, and you have a lot of practice of pranayama. Even all the sessions Shekhar will teach and I will teach will be full of pranayama, because pranayama is the therapeutic part of the yoga. It increases the oxygen, improves the cellular function, it exercises the internal organ, and it quiets down your mind. So think about why it is so important. So if you see a person dying, what do you call? Expired. Expired means his last breath came out. And look at the sequences, what happens. When a lung stops, then the heart stops. In yoga, heart, lung, and heart is the same organ. When the heart stops, your brain stops. When your brain stops, all the cellular function stops, and we pronounce a person dead. When a physician, they ask you to pronounce a person dead, we check all these things. We check be sure there is no breathing, be sure there is no heart function, be sure there is no neurological function, and be sure there is cellular function. The body is cold. So on the other hand, if we improve our lung function, we improve our heart function, we improve our brain function, we improve our cellular function. So as simple as it is, I have diabetes, my cells in my pancreas, called beta cells are not working properly, they're not producing enough insulin, or my tissue is called insulin resistance, are not working properly. So by doing a pranayama practice, I improve my lung function, improve my heart function, improve my brain function, improve my beta cell function to overcome my diabetes. So we'll go over with this slowly and you will see. People always ask, what is the difference between exercise and a yoga? In exercise, it is a muscle contraction. It is a sympathetic overdrive. In an exercise, heart rate goes up, respiratory rate goes up, your blood pressure goes high up, muscle contracts. But what happens when the body has a sympathetic overdrive, our homeostatic system means the system which keeps us where we are, then it starts a parasympathetic activation. So this parasympathetic activation, which helps us. So person who is exercising, when the heart rate goes high up, but we see how fast it comes down. When somebody is an athlete, we look at a pulse, we see what is the resting pulse, which is parasympathetic. On the other hand, a yoga practice is primarily a relaxation response. It's a parasympathetic activation. When you get into asana, the muscle will contract, ligaments will tighten up, you'll get into what is a phenomena called arambho. Arambho is the beginning. There are 3 steps of an asana. But if you stay in the asana for a little longer, next is called a sthiti. Sthiti is a stability. A muscle, when it starts to relax, it gives a little bit of twitching called your fasciculation. Slowly and slowly, fasciculation goes away. You get into profound relaxation, which is called your Visarjan. That's the Sanskrit word. Arambho, Sthiti, Visarjan. And in that situation, you get this profound relaxation response. So as you see, yoga practice primary is a therapy. It is a relaxation response, and it is the activation of the parasympathetic tone. Sympathetic tone, we call it a fight or flight. Parasympathetic response, we call calm and digest. It makes us calm. It helps in our digestion process. So what happens, we learn how to relax your physical body. By relaxing the physical body, mind gets relaxed. When the mind gets relaxed, your blood vessels, which gets very tight in sympathetic overdrive, parasympathetic starts to open up. Your blood vessel in the heart, coronary artery opens up. Blood vessel in your kidneys opens up. Blood vessel coming to my wrist, where I feel the pulse, it opens up. So get a perfusion and function of the vital organs. So organ can function better. So this is the message you have to keep and take home. A safe yoga practice is a practice that fits where you are. I teach everybody, when you practice your eyes closed. When you keep your eyes closed, you can look inside your body. It is called your subtle body, gross body, subtle body, and you call it causal body. There are 3 bodies. We'll go over with it tomorrow during yoga anatomy and physiology. So when you do your eyes closed, you meet where you are. Then you exactly know you are wrapping your hand, how far you can wrap. If you get any pain here, you back off. But you start at a point and slowly you progress. A staged approach that teaches a pain-free asana. Remember one thing, do not practice asana after taking a pain medication. Do not take 2 Advil, do not take 2 Motrin, do not take 2 Tylenol before you do the practice. Because you're going to lose that sensation, which is going to guide you how to do a safe. Remember, yoga safety. There is a very hardly there is a yoga injury, but yoga injury only takes place when you do not follow this principle. Do not do a yoga after taking pain medication. During your asana practice, you have to have a effortless pranayama, effortless breathing. That means if I sit down in this posture, if I'm doing a Bhastrika pranayama, in that pranayama, I have to be effortless. What the effortless means, I can able to talk. I can able to even sing. Here I am. I'm sitting here with my spine straight. I'm sitting in a special chair, special tool. This is called your kneeling stool. In a kneeling stool, when you put down, I'm in front of my computer. I keep my spine straight. That's your practice. Your practice is keep your spine straight. Merudanda achal, manas sthir. Mind has to be totally still. And this effortless pranayama do slowly and slowly takes you to the effect of meditation. Remember, you don't do a meditation. Always you come says, I want to do a meditation. You don't do a meditation. You prepare your body, prepare your breath, prepare your mind, slowly you enter into meditation. If your asana practice doesn't have that sthiram, sukham, stillness and happiness, you'll never get into meditation. Because when you close, you're looking at your breath, your body, the physical body is going to wake you up. And most important that your practice is to optimize body's natural healing power. Our body has its own healing power, and your practice, it optimizes, builds physical and mental resilience. So this is the message for you to take home, and this is the message to practice. A pain-free asana, effortless breathing, and in a meditative state throughout the whole yoga practice. That's your safety. Very, very important concept. The transformation, what takes place, we call it a transition to transformation. Not to master the postures, but to use the postures or asanas in stages for transformation. Why? It happened to all of us. It happened to Shekhar, happened to me. I know the few, Linda, happened to Kim, happened to all the friends. You know where you are and where you are today. So do not push yourself. Do not compete with anybody. And when you are doing a class, sometimes we do a class with hundreds and hundreds of people, they're all doing on their own, listening to your body signal. No pain, effortless breathing. So remember this thing. So now, as I said, you go through these asana stages. So in a yoga practice, yoga is not an exercise. You can get into asana, you can do a, say, boat pose, Nokasana. You can get Nokasana, you can go in and out, or you can just raise your feet high up. For the Paschimuttanasana, you raise it up, put it down, raise it up, put it down, raise it up, put it down. That becomes an exercise. But when you can get it up, stay with the pain-free, you get into these steps of asanas. Arambho is the beginning. Sthiti is the stability. With the stability, you have this, you will see your muscles will start to do that. Primarily when you do a boat pose, Nokasana, you will see. Anytime you cross your limit, you will have your instability. Visarjan is a surrender. Yogic breathing, most important is when you do pranayama, lung is like a balloon. It has a 4.5 liter capacity. We only breathe 0.5 liter, 500 cc. So you have to learn how to breathe out first. So I'm sitting here. If I ask you to say, take a deep breath in, all the air is sitting in the top of all the residual air, which is sitting in the lung, and they are absolutely useless. They're not doing anything for me. So all your practice, what you do, you have to learn how to breathe out first. That's a practice, that's a safety. You breathe out first, then you breathe in effortlessly. Remember one thing, breathing in effortlessly means when you breathe in, you will feel a comfort, you will feel the calmness in your body and mind. Then you breathe out longer than breathing in. So here is say, inhalation is sympathetic, exhalation is parasympathetic. So extend your exhalation, slowly and slowly extend your longevity. Like for us, you will see you've been doing it for so long, you will be able to do, say, 2 seconds in, 4 seconds out, 4 seconds in, 8 seconds out. We practice, we can do very easily 8 seconds in, 16 seconds out, 10 seconds in, 20 seconds out. I have lived with the yogis and I have seen when they breathe, you don't know even they're breathing. And try always to do it without closing your eyes, because closing your eyes, what happens? It connects with you through your called Sukha Sharir, subtle body, and you don't know who else is doing what. And you are going to progress without any crisis or catastrophe. So, what are the ages of asana? How to do the normal stretching, no pain, but comfortable discomfort, stability, sthiti. If you're in an asana and if you start doing this, you will back off. And effortless breathing. You're in asana, I'm here, I'm doing my little bit of a spinal twist. When I'm doing my stretching, I will feel at a certain point, my breath catches. When my breath catches, you back off. But you stay in the posture. When you stay in the posture, slowly and slowly you progress. So how do you really create a yoga injury? Pain during asana. Also, if you take some pain medication before doing asana practice, unsteady poses, that means stillness is not there. You are a little wobbly, you are not being still, and breathing difficulty. If any asana pose, you're breathing difficulty, you are going to hurt yourself. If you have any pain in the asana practice, you're going to hurt yourself. If your pose is very unsteady. How can you prevent this overstretching of the muscles and ligaments? Or how can you create that you can do on your own? Like you're trying to force yourself without listening to your body's signal. Assistance from another person. In truly yoga therapy practice, we really tell you, no adjustment, no alignment. You can show me. You are as a yoga teacher, show me this is the ultimate asana practice. But don't do any adjustment. Adjustment will come from within me and it will eventually come. Why? Came to all of us. Came to me. Came to Shekhar. Came to all of us. It will come. And by using yogic props and all these things you do. I have nothing against doing a yoga prop, pillows and all this stuff, but use it in stages. If you have a 6-inch, use a 4-inch, with a 2-inch, slowly go down. Or if you're using like use a folded blanket, so you can get in, take out a layer, because when you develop that, which is called the neuroplasticity or habit forming, it will take place. Few precautions we said, if you have a back pain, don't do unsupported back bend, unsupported forward bend. We like to do a forward bend when you have a back pain, but that's what we do. We put our head down, put our head touching, say, in a countertop or in a table. Then you just relax yourself. In a hernia, we say in a hernia, we'll see. Hernia is the pressure coming from inside. So in a hernia, people with hernia, we do practice. We do Uddiyani Bandh. I'll show it to you. I'll be doing practicing tomorrow. I will show you what to do for the hernia. But don't do unsupported. Always get supported. Before a muscle works, muscle needs oxygen. Suppose I'm going to use my biceps muscle. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to breathe in before, breathe out first, breathe in, breathing out I'm going to do. That means the muscle needs the oxygen before it works. So anytime you think about, you don't have to think when you breathe in or breathe out. Breathe in before a muscle works and breathe out when the muscle is relaxing. Very important concept. In a pranayama, inhalation is sympathetic, exhalation is parasympathetic. So extend your exhalation. Generally, what we do, breathe out first. Take a deep breath in, then breathe out longer than breathing in. Time and a half, twice. We can easily do for us. 10 seconds in, 20 seconds out will be perfectly fine. Do not do pranayama standing up. Pranayama causes little altered sense of consciousness. That is a hyperventilation syndrome. Always try to do pranayama sitting down with the spine straight, mind quite down, but always do a pranayama in a very stable, keeping your spine set. I like to do it even in a chair. I sit down in a chair, I do it. Sitting down, put your back against a wall. Very important. There is a hyperventilation syndrome when you're doing a very rapid Bhastrika pranayama. Causes dizziness, disturb consciousness. You will have a lot of things, circummoral numbness, carpopedal spasm, globus. You'll see a lot of symptoms will develop. But as long as it is not causing any difficulties in your breathing, when your breath is effortless, when you can talk, when you can sing, hyperventilation is not going to hurt you. And always say, for a pranayama practice, you'll see more and more. You'll do in a chair, laying down, keep your spine straight, mind quiet, completely relaxed, and effortless breathing. We'll do it more and more. We'll show it to you. Pranayama should be done with a vidhi, samay, sankalpa, siddhi. I will show it to you more and more when you pranayama practice, and Shekhar will also show it to you. This is just one fun thing. I just saw what the connection to the body and mind. People are advertising, called a psychosomatic. This is also my book. Shekhar will give you all the information, but my book is primarily based on what we all learn from this therapeutic model. And this book I have written for two purposes, just to share with you what we have been practice every day. Everything what we are going to show today in this session is everything in my book. So if you go over this book, you're going to go down. This book is available in Amazon in a soft cover. And the book has all the references. It has references of 25 books, DVDs, websites. And finally, I just want to go over with you a few slides, just for a couple of minutes, that how did you learn from yoga? Yoga we learn from the babies. Every baby does yoga. In fact, we make a fun, one of my radiologist friends says, even the babies inside mother's womb when they're growing, they are doing all the yoga practices. And he makes a fun, he says the baby becomes such a big yogi and yogini. When the baby comes out from the mother, it comes out the headstand. So here it is, just take a look. What is the origin of yoga as a therapy came? It's a total relaxation response. This is a candid camera. A baby generally, normally stays in a Tadasana, normally in a Vrksasana, triple. Normally will baby sit down in a Vajrasana, Sukhasana. This is the level of comfort. A child is always, see, a child doesn't have a altered mind. They're always feeling for what is feeling good for their body. Baby gets up into a Cobra pose. Baby gets into a Shalabhasana. See how beautiful these asanas are. Okay? Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog, cat pose. This is the natural they have. Jathara Parivartanasana. I have a bunch of the asanas. I just picked up a few of them. It is also called Jathara Parivartanasana. Upavistha Konasana. We try to do it. Look how beautifully a baby is doing it. Seated forward bend. Beautiful, beautiful asanas, baby. Balasana. We use Balasana when they have a neuropsychiatric disorders. It's a child's pose. Look at how beautiful a child is doing. Supta Baddha Konasana. That's the way baby sleeps. Put your feet together, separate, and that's a treatment for your insomnia. And I will show it to you when you practice how to bring a sleep and how to sleep properly. called Supta Baddha Konasana. Nokasana. It is a normal for the babies. So I'm going to finish with this end with a beautiful slide. This beautiful slide is called Illness and Wellness. This slide I got from one of our called Yogaville. We have called Swami Satchitanand. So he was invited in University of Virginia with the 500 physicians. He woke up in the board. He wrote down illness, then he put down wellness. He said illness starts with I, wellness starts with we. Change your vocabulary from I to we, and illness became wellness. It's exactly 2 minutes to 6, and I finished on time. As we said, we always start on time, finish on time. I'm sure you will have much of your questions. You have your questions, and we are having a session for question and answer. And as Amol has suggested, you can put all the questions in your chat, or also you can raise your hand, or you can, there is a, I don't know if you know in the Zoom, there is a called reaction. You can use the reaction to raise your hand. Thank you for your time. Now, Shekhar will take you to a practice. And remember one thing, for whole yoga, it's a 99% practice and 1% theory. Only difference is in a practice, what we do, you practice in an empty stomach. So we'll be practicing primarily in the morning and in early evening before our dinner time. So throughout the rest of the day, we'll be going through this formal presentations. And one more thing before I hand it over to Shekhar, all of us are different. We know when you come to the Ayurveda, you will see we have a Vata, Pitta, and Kapha. We'll go over the Ayurveda very much. So please, please, please take your break if you want. Keep your video on so we know. If you want to stretch, do the stretch break. I will show it to you how to stretch break. Sit down, call a Malasana from getting up, and Shekhar will take you to a practice this evening. Thank you for your time. Shekhar, it's all yours now.
Thanks, sir. Thank you, Dr. Sarkar. Wonderful explanation. The safety. Remember, everybody has their own level, and you compete with yourself, and we don't want to have anybody get hurt. And today's for some people, it may be the first day for yoga. We definitely don't want that to be the last day of yoga. You somehow take a shortcut and hurt yourself. So please follow the instructions. If it pains, just back off. Little uncomfortableness is okay. You know your body very well. You know what you can do and what you cannot do. If I've been practicing for 25 years, my body is different than you've been practicing for 25 days. How much dedication you have towards that. So we all have our different levels, but